Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first. Then you act.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back, Spartan Nation Radio. Very excited to have my very good buddy joining us tonight. He is the Michigan State head hockey coach. He is a great coach. He's not just a good coach. He's a great coach. He is a personal friend. I will tell you this. One of him personally is he's not only a great coach, he's a super father, a fantastic husband, a man of faith. And I just genuinely really like him, and I'm glad and proud that he's at the head of Spartan Hockey, the great Danton Cole. Danton, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Hondo. How are you?
Good. I want to dig in on something really important. I know you've got a great recruiting class coming in. You just added more. So let's start right there. Tell us about the class. I know there was some who signed early, some that signed late. Will you break down the class for fans? Because I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this freshman class.
Yeah, it's it's an interesting class. When we got here, we had our senior and junior class both just had 3 players in them, so we're really stacked on the freshman and sophomore side. So last year we extended our class about as much as we could and got our roster to 28. So we got that group from 3 to 6 this year. It's a little harder for us to extend that again. So we'll probably just go with the 3 that we have. We might add a 4th if the right situation comes along. But right now we really like it. Josh Nadler had a great year in the USHL. He'll be drafted this year, probably somewhere from the 2nd to the 4th round. Just a very smart player. He's a good centerman. Makes a lot of plays. Real diligent young man. Is going to play a lot of good hockey for us, so we're excited about him. Nicholas Mueller was the other young man that we signed from. He's from Switzerland. He's played on the Swiss national team at the World Juniors a few years and played with some real high-end players and did real well. And has played juniors in Sweden for the last 3 years as the captain of his team. They won the championship this year, so. Both those guys, we like their leadership, we like their abilities, and I think they'll be able to come in and contribute right away. And then the other day, Jagger Joshua signed after his season finished up with Muskegon, and he's done a really nice job. He's a big body. I think a lot of our fans will remember his brother played at Ohio State. It was kind of a thorn in our side for a few years. He's a good player, but Jagger's got a good intensity. He's got a lot what the Krieger twins have in him. He's got a real edge, plays hard. He's got the ability to score goals, go to hard areas, and the thing I like about all 3 of them is just really good team guys, good leaders, and I think they're going to bring a lot and push our team well this year.
Danton, obviously you never know until guys get on campus. Izzo says it, D'Antonio says it. You just don't know. But you can have ideas. Do you think these 3 guys are people we're going to see playing next year on a regular basis, or is it just too early to tell?
You know what? It's those are obviously smart men, and they're right about that. But you do get kind of a feel, and usually if guys have the physical maturity, that's easy to see. The mental maturity is kind of the one that you kind of want to wait and see. But I think for sure that Nadler and Mueller will come in and have a chance to be top 6 forwards. I think Jagger, it remains to be seen, but I think he has a real good chance to, like I said, play some meaningful minutes. Our plan is that these guys come in and push for ice time right away.
Danton, one of the things I like about your recruiting is you do it a lot like D'Antonio and Izzo also. You recruit character. You recruit guys you're not going to have to babysit in the classroom. But you recruit some kids with an edge. And what I mean by an edge is you're not going and recruiting criminals. I'm not saying that. But guys who play, Izzo says it best. Some people play the game. Some people love it. You're getting guys who are hockey nuts, aren't you?
Well, that's, one of the things that, Coach Luongo and Coach Exter and I talked about was, the kind of young man that we want to have here, and just check some of the boxes. And one of them was just that compete level, that passion level, and that has to be there. And the good teams I've been around have had an awful lot of that, and it just can't be missing. So what, we look for that. We've really tried to pay a lot of attention and find guys that understand the game and have a real good passion for the game. And those, that just lends itself to being a good coachable, teachable player, and they'll fit into a system, fit into a team situation, and they're just an awful lot more fun to coach on, to tell you the truth. But I like guys with that passion and guys that want to play the game and want to win.
Danton, you and I have talked about this before, but there are people who you competed against who had more God-given talent, who were bigger, faster, stronger, but you never competed against anyone that matched your heart. You were guts. That's why you lifted a cup. That's why you played professionally for so long. It's why you are who you are, because you loved the game. Because you are a guy that loves it. I think I've told you a story. Maybe I didn't. Magic and I were talking once, and I asked him why he didn't stay in coaching. And he said, because I couldn't make guys love the game like I loved it. And he said, so practice would be over and guys would leave. And I remembered I was always first to practice and last to leave. And he goes, and it just was something I couldn't handle. You are a lot like Magic in that you are so competitive. You are such a guy who gave it all. You had such great success. Is that hard to coach guys? Because not everybody has your heart.
Yeah, there's a certain challenge to that, and we tend to like we tend to like athletes as coaches that remind us of ourselves, whether you're at a career like mine or one like Magic's, and I certainly like guys like Magic myself. I'll take those guys all day long. But after you coach a while, I think that. You look inside and you have a little better feeling of maybe where you're at, and expecting guys that they're going to be just in this one mold of a player, and they come in all shapes and sizes. And I think being at the NTDP, it was kind of a neat thing, because there's some guys that play a real cerebral game. A young man like Taro Hiroshi is fabulous to coach, and but he goes about it a little different way. And so what, you mentioned faith earlier, and there's you got to have faith in some young men, and if they get to the right point, if they have the right attitude and work ethic, then sometimes they go about it a little different. And sometimes, like I said, if you do it long enough, you start to appreciate those guys that are a little different and bringing something a little different to the table. But at the end of the day, they've, like you were saying, or Magic is saying as well, you've got to have that passion in one way or the other, and the coach can't want it more than an athlete does. And you just try and surround yourself by enough of those guys that you're gonna find a few that end up on your team, and guys that that don't have that passion or work hard enough to maximize their ability. But you hope to have enough around the room that it's strong enough to overcome that. And sometimes guys surprise you, and they give you a little more than you thought they could, if you have patience and have faith in them, and keep working with them.
Talking to the great Danton Cole, MSU hockey coach. Danton, first of all, how old are these three recruits? How old are they going to be when they get on campus?
Yeah, they're a little different sizes. So Josh Nadler will be a true freshman, which we don't have a lot of in hockey anymore. And then Jagger and Nicholas are both 99 birth years, so they'll be 19 turning 20 in their first year.
Danton, one of the things that I don't like about recruiting anymore is kids will make mistakes at 15, 16, 17. Now, I'm not talking about felonies. I'm not talking about violent mistakes. But kids make mistakes and people want to throw them away. Oh, but for the grace of God, thank the Lord I didn't grow up in a social media culture, because I probably wouldn't have got the chances that I did, because people would have known I was an idiot. But I'm just curious, as a coach, obviously if somebody's a criminal, that's a different story. But I don't have a problem when coaches give a kid a second chance for mistakes they made as a kid. I'm not saying any of these three kids fit that mold, but do you agree with me?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like you said, if you look at the recruiting process now, well, actually, it's changed a little in hockey. Thank goodness. We're trying to get it to be a little bit later, so we, don't start talking to kids until halfway through their sophomore year, but still that's they're 15 years old. And like you said, social media, and young men make mistakes, and I think you have to work through it. And part of that process is getting to know the young man, and and see where they're at. But no, hey, mistakes aren't fatal, and you have to let them work through it. But we might be dealing with a young man from 15 to 20. That's 5 years, and the odds of a teenage boy doing something stupid in there, as you know, with young men is pretty high. But yeah, you work through it, and if it is something that doesn't fit, or morally, if it's an issue, then you have to deal with that. But if it's a normal thing that young men go through, you want to see them learn, you want to see them admit it and own up to it and stuff. So you have to deal with those case by case. But certainly we're not looking for perfect, but perfect attitude is what we shooting for.
He is the great Danton Cole, MSU hockey coach. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about his secret weapon in recruiting. We'll be right back.